kind of tying in with everything else we've got going on with the crime I was talking about that Arthur Green writes about quite often and things like that. We have that in Calgary. These civic governments, guys, we've got to stop letting our municipal politicians get away with what they do. We've got to stop putting these woke lunatics into the mayor's chairs and council chairs. We're paying a price for it. So yeah, Calgary's downtown, as I said, we got some serious crime challenges right now. I think the reason we're not hearing about a lot of them right now is that the Stampede is overwhelming everything with news coverage. So in Edmonton, you're hearing it. When we were sitting there, it was at least 6 ambulances went by on 10th Avenue where we were down there, enjoying ourselves on the patio, having a fun time. And we know the majority of that was for overdoses. No easy solutions, but we really got to address those things and quit kicking the ball down the road and can down the road and trying to procrastinate with it. But in Calgary, they're coming up with even more stupid things. Yeah, I know. There's always room for municipal politicians to come up with stupid. And, everybody in just about every city can nod their head and because they know they've seen idiotic anti-automotive policies like this come up. Because there's this cult-like thing. I mean, some point out it's, Agenda 2030, things like that. I think those inspire a lot of these municipal politicians, but they really are at war with vehicles. So what they want to do, I'm going to describe it a bit because not everybody viewing, of course, is from Calgary. But Calgary, south of the downtown, has sort of a main artery full of businesses, neat spots, restaurants, bars, stores. It's 17th Avenue Southwest. And it goes through an area that's called the Beltline. So it's kind of outside of the main skyscrapers, but it has a lot of apartments, a lot of high density living, and a lot of population. Well, the clowns in City Hall are saying, we should shut 17th Avenue down and make it a big, long pedestrian zone. Oh, and they're talking seriously about this. Now, 17th Avenue moves 15,000 vehicles a day. If you go south of 17th, describe it to others, that's Mount Royal. It's not a good neighborhood to get through for getting from one place to another. It's on a hill, and it's a rich neighborhood full of mansions. You go north, you're going farther into downtown. Now, what the hipsters who are supporting this idea and the others saying, we would love that. We don't want cars in our Beltline. Those 15,000 vehicles are all going to pour onto the other streets, guys, to get around that. They were going from one place to another place, and they can't stop just because you morons shut down access down this main road. They will just go down another one, and you're transferring the problem somewhere else. But it won't be 15,000 worth. No, 5,000 of them are going to say, you know what? Whatever I used to have to do down there, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm going to do my stuff in the suburbs. I'm going to go somewhere else and take my business, my time, my wallet to another spot. Some of the citizens in these high-density, traffic-laden areas will also get the hell out of there. I've said it on Twitter. It works people up because I live rural, actually. I'm just outside of Calgary on an acreage, but I'm not in the city. And every time these twits pull off stuff like this, my property values go up because more and more people say, I've had it, I'm out. But Calgary's downtown is a disaster zone, as are many of them. With the addiction, with the ground level businesses get down there. For lease signs are everywhere. And they talk to business owners, they bully business owners. Oh, this will be a good idea for the businesses. No, it won't. No, it won't. Neither was it when they stuck stupid friggin' bike lanes in front of all of those businesses. Oh, that's going to bring more business to you. It didn't. Cyclists don't spend money. God, guys. So you close that down. It'll be great for 17th, perhaps, during Stampede and on some nice summer days. Other than that, you're going to crush those businesses, and you're going to cause a real problem. The only other decent access, there's 11th and 12th Avenues, and what they did, of course, is they stuck bike lanes on them. So they squashed all the parking off of that, and they've made it narrower and narrower. And they live in this delusional world. What they want to do, what they really do want to do, these ideologues, these nut bars, and we can usually dismiss nut bars, but unfortunately, these nut bars are winning elections in cities across the country. I can't wait to see what Madam Chow does in Toronto. But they think if we could just hound and harass and annoy auto drivers enough, they'll just say, you know what, I'm going to go green and ride a bike to work in January in Calgary. Or I'm going to ride the bus. I'll just put on my stab-proof vest and hope that I don't get killed on the way to work. It's not going to happen, guys. They leave. There's no more cycle commuters in Calgary now than there were 10 years ago, despite all the bike lanes built for them. There's a lot of recreational cyclists who use those a bit in summer, But the hardcore people who actually are going to throw on spandex, freeze their testes off, and get their way across a city to go to work has always been around 2 to 3% of the people, like in wintertime. These are just fringe, good on them, but fringe lunatics. They didn't need dedicated lanes. It doesn't matter. They got their lanes. And we're seeing more of it. They haven't stopped with the core now. They're going on to 17th. Go to 8th Avenue in Calgary. That's been a pedestrian zone for a long time. It has some neat businesses. It has things along there. But guess what? It's also got loads of for lease signs because the city won't stop the social disorder nightmare that's going on there. And they've throttled all the parking so badly that people don't come down there to visit those businesses because it costs too bloody much. Either way, the whole bottom line of what I'm getting to is we see this everywhere. But the part of having these progressives winning these civic elections, the problem isn't that they're winning. It's that they're winning because only 20, 30, at tops, 40% of people are bothering to get off their butts and vote in municipal elections. It's on us, guys. You got to get out there and fire these clowns, or they're going to continue to run rampant like this. You know, with all this stuff going on around here too, this is something we see in Calgary. Gondek spoke to that, and the Calgary Economic Development, which is a slush fund organization for City Hall. We're talking about we should move away from the cowboy image of Calgary. Yeah, we've got branding that's known internationally. The Calgary Stampede, this cowboy thing, and yes, it's cosplay, it's cheesy to some, but it brings a massive amount of people to the city. It puts the city on the map, and these elected morons in City Hall think we should move away from that. We want to be more like Paris. Guys, you'll never be like Paris. You want to know why? Because Paris is over in France, and it's a city that was based on a medieval model to begin with. Quit trying to aspire to be what you're not and develop with what you already have.